Have you ever had a moment in your life that keeps replaying in your head? Not because it was good, but because everything went wrong after it. A moment so small, so stupid, that nobody would ever think it mattered. But it did, because if I had made a different choice that night, I would not be telling you this story. I would not wake up sweating at 3 a.m. I would not avoid quiet houses. And I would not flinch every time I hear something move beneath me. People think horror starts when something appears. They are wrong. It starts when nothing happens, and you convince yourself that means you are safe. It starts when you laugh, when you ignore that tight feeling in your chest, when you say, "It's probably nothing." That's what I said, and that's why this story exists. The listing looked perfect. 3 bedrooms, middle of nowhere, cheap, old farmhouse vibe. It was supposed to be a reset, just 5 days away from work, noise, and screens. It was me, my girlfriend Megan, my best friend Tyler, his younger cousin Evan, and my dog buddy. 5 of us crammed into my old SUV, driving through rural Pennsylvania while the trees got thinner and the roads narrower. The only strange thing was buried at the bottom of the Airbnb listing. House rule: do not open the basement door. For your safety. Just that. We joked about it in the car. Probably full of junk, Tyler said. Or bodies, Evan laughed. Megan didn't laugh. She just stared out the window. The farmhouse sat at the end of a long gravel driveway, surrounded by bare trees and half-buried fences. White paint peeled off the siding. The porch sagged slightly in the middle like it was tired of holding itself up. No other houses, just woods and snow. Inside, the air smelled like old wood, dust, and lemon cleaner. The heat kicked on with a deep thud. Lights flickered, then steadied. The basement door was in the kitchen. Short, thick, painted so many times the edges were cracked and swollen. A heavy deadbolt sat in the middle like it was guarding something important. Buddy walked up to it, sniffed once, then backed away, whining low in his throat. That's weird, Tyler said. He loves basements. Megan frowned. Then maybe we listened to him. We unpacked, cooked dinner, opened beers, and played cards while the wind rattled the windows. For a few hours, it felt normal. Almost cozy. That first night, around 1 a.m., Buddy started growling at our bedroom door. Not barking, just a deep, steady rumble. I sat up, heart pounding. That's when I heard it, a faint dragging sound, from below. It stopped after a minute. I told myself it was pipes. Old house noise. In the morning, Tyler looked as tired as I felt. You hear something last night? He asked over coffee. I nodded. From the basement, I think. Megan set her mug down hard. Promise me we don't mess with that door, she said. Just promise. We promised. We meant it. That afternoon, snow started falling heavier. Thick flakes that swallowed sound and made the world feel smaller. Megan and I took Buddy out back while Tyler and Evan stayed inside. When we came back in, they were standing in the kitchen. Both of them, facing the basement door. You heard it too, didn't you? I asked. Evan nodded. It knocked 3 times. Megan shook her head. You're messing with me. Tyler swallowed. I wish. That night, the power went out. No wind. Just off. The house dropped into darkness and silence. Then came a knocks. 3 slow, hollow thuds. From inside the basement door, Buddy exploded into barking, throwing himself at the door. Megan grabbed my arm, so hard it hurt. We stood there, flashlights shaking, until the lights flickered back on. None of us slept after that. On day 2, the snow came down harder. Not gentle flakes, thick sheets that erased the world in front of the windows. By morning, the driveway was already half buried. Tyler went out first, kicking snow away from his truck door, breath fogging in the cold. He turned the key. Nothing. Not even a click. Dead. I tried my car next. Same thing. Dead. We opened the hoods, stared at engines we didn't understand, hands going numb in minutes. The cold had killed both batteries overnight. Megan tried her phone outside. No bars, she said, panic creeping into her voice. Not even one. Inside, the Wi-Fi barely loaded a weather page before freezing. The storm warning just said, severe. I forced calm into my voice. Okay, worst case, we wait out a day. Snow clears. We get help. That was the plan. None of us liked it. We kept checking the windows, the doors, like something might change if we stared hard enough. Then, around noon, we heard it, crying, soft, muffled, from under the kitchen floor. We froze. No one spoke for a long time. By nightfall, the snow had piled so high it pressed against the lower windows. The world outside was just white and gray. We slept in shifts. No one wanted to be alone. Day 3 was worse. The snow stopped, but the silence felt heavier than the storm. We tried the cars again. Tyler turned the key over and over until the battery was completely drained. Nothing. Dead. I slammed my steering wheel. Come on, come on. Still nothing. That's when we decided to walk. Pack what we could, just in case. The cold bit straight through our jackets as soon as we stepped off the porch. The air smelled sharp and empty. We followed the road away from the house, single file, Buddy pulling against the leash, ears flat. At first, it felt hopeful. Then the trees closed in. The snow got deeper, and the road started to fade. Tire tracks disappeared, edges blurred. After half a mile, it wasn't a road anymore. Just a narrow stretch of trampled snow leading into the woods, like it had never existed. Evan stopped. This doesn't make sense, he said. We drove in on this. I walked ahead a few steps and sank almost to my knees. There was nothing solid underneath, just snow and branches. Megan's voice shook. We're going to get lost. I looked back. The house already seemed farther away than it should have been. We turned around. The walk back felt longer, colder, like the house was pulling away from us. When we stepped back onto the porch, none of us felt relieved. We felt defeated. Inside, the house felt different, smaller, like the walls had shifted while we were gone. The air colder, the light dimmer. Even Buddy stayed close to my legs, tail low. That afternoon, we heard scratching inside the walls. Not in one place, moving, slowly, like something dragging itself through the spaces between rooms. We followed the sound from the living room to the hallway, then to the kitchen. It stopped right behind the basement door, then nothing, just silence. That's when we knew. We weren't just stuck because of the snow. We were stuck because the house was done letting us leave. Late that afternoon, while we were sitting in the kitchen, we heard it again, crying, soft, from under the floor. It sounded closer now. Evan whispered, "We can't just ignore that." Megan begged us not to. Tyler paced. Torn. I stood there and said nothing. That's how the door got opened. When Tyler finally unlocked it, the crying stopped. Cold air rushed up the stairs, carrying the smell of wet dirt and old stone. We shined flashlights down. Wooden steps. Darkness. "Hello," Evan called. From below came a whisper, barely louder than breath. "Help me." Before anyone could react, Buddy tore free and ran down the stairs, barking. "Buddy," I shouted. Tyler went after him without hesitation. I followed. The basement was empty. Dirt floor, stone walls, old shelves sagging with rot. Buddy's barking echoed, then cut off. Tyler was gone. "Tyler," I yelled. No answer. Just my voice coming back wrong. Then I saw Buddy's collar on the floor. The leather strap snapped clean. We searched, not minutes, over an hour. Every wall, every corner, digging into dirt with our hands until our nails bled. Screaming Tyler's name until our throats burned. Nothing. Then we heard footsteps, slow, on the stairs. We turned, relief surging for half a second. A shape stood there, not solid, not clear, like a shadow wearing Tyler's outline. Its edges wavered like heat in the air. and from it came his voice. "Why did you leave me?" Megan screamed. The thing tilted its head, then slid back into the darkness. Silence. That was when fear stopped being abstract. We ran up the stairs, slamming the door, locking it. Not because we wanted to abandon Tyler, because whatever was down, there was no longer pretending. That night, it knocked again and spoke with Tyler's voice, begging, crying, accusing. Sometimes Buddy's whine layered under it. Days blurred. We rationed food, drank melted snow, barely slept. The voice changed. Sometimes it sounded like Megan's mom, sometimes like Evan's little brother, sometimes like me, always trying to pull us closer. On the morning of day 4, Evan was gone. Basement door open. No footprints, just his jacket on the kitchen floor. We locked ourselves upstairs, shaking, waiting for it to come for us next. That evening, we heard a weak voice outside. "Please." We looked out the window. Evan stood barefoot in the snow, skin gray, clothes torn, eyes hollow. I ran to him. He collapsed in my arms, barely breathing. Inside, wrapped in blankets, he coughed dark blood. "It's not a room," he whispered. "It's a memory. It keeps you where you hurt most." He never explained more. They never found Tyler. They never found Buddy. Police searched the basement. Nothing. Just dirt. They said grief and fear made us imagine a rest. They were wrong, because before I left, I went back into the kitchen one last time. And on the inside of the basement door, carved into the paint, fresh and deep, were 3 words. "Still listening."